What it do, baby?
Oh,
What
okay.
it do, baby? I gotta mute this end of it right here. I don't want to do too much. You know, I'm not no live streamer pro, but I had to tap in on the eve of this giant game 5. What up, y'all? What up? I appreciate y'all. Yo, what it do? What it do? Oh, wait. I was gonna release a video today, kind of just like some preview takes, and I was like, you know what? Let me do this like right before the game and just kind of interact and be live with y'all. I got to do it more. To be honest with you, I get too many beers deep when it's around game time and after game time. I'll get on here and just get canceled. I'll cuss everybody out. So I got to manage myself. What up, Anthony? I like this though. I'm using the StreamYard here and I can see the comments and it's set up. So it's working. It's working. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. All right. So what I plan to do here is I'm going to go over a couple of takes I have headed into this, and then I'll open it up to some questions or whatever, and we'll have some fun, and then maybe catch the end of this Lakers Memphis game. I have some takes about the playoffs. You see, Ice Trey last night, right? Let's start with De'Aaron Fox and this finger injury. Is the sound good? Sounds good? We straight? Because y'all know I have trouble with the streaming. I am the boy. I appreciate you. But it sounds like we good. Otherwise, someone would be complaining, right? Let's start with the De'Aaron Fox fracture to the left index finger, right? And you saw he's got the brace, and it's on the upper part of it, like the top part. I've had that so many times where I don't know if it was diagnosed. I never went to the doctor about it, but where you get that bulge out of like one of the joints. The top one is the least least painful, right? When you get it down in the knuckle, now you're talking about your hand being incapacitated for basketball, right? Or the thumb is the worst. But here, so touch. You hear the term, oh, he's got good touch, right? And Fox has really good touch on that floater, that push shot. I don't know exactly what you want to call it, foul line and in. He's just got amazing touch. And that's where it could affect him, right? Because if you have good touch typically, and you've got good control of the ball, whether that's ball handling or on the release of your shot, the ball is going to roll off your finger pad, that top joint in your finger. In your index finger in particular is where most players generate that, kind of get that spin of the ball. And so that's where I think it may affect him as far as touch with his shot. You know what I mean? I don't know about the handle. I think the handle is more all of your fingers, but again, it's off the finger pads. And so he may not have that feeling, when you get that good spin and you talk about, who was it that I was watching in that Denver, Minnesota game at the free throw line? Anyway, I forget who it was, but you know how you see a shooter and you're like, this dude has no idea whether it's going in or not when he lets it go, right? When you've got touch, you get it off the finger pads, when it's going in, you get that spin. That's what he could be lacking. And so with that said, do we go under every screen? At least initially. And if you notice his 3-point shooting, and this is something that Ja has kind of figured out as well early, is it's kind of at a standstill. Very rarely is Fox going to come down, pap, off the bounce and like hit off the bounce on the move 3 ball, because he's so quick, he's so fast. It's hard to contain that type of energy in that type of athlete's legs. So he usually shoots threes when he's kind of set, or like he uses a screen and we're waiting on the other end. He's like, all right, bet I can set my feet and take this. So that is one circumstance, but the DHO with Sabonis, where it's like 18 feet, right? It's not at the 3-point line. It's just above the foul line. And you've seen Wiggins, GP2, and all these guys fight over the top of that. And then Loon or whoever it is dropping. And I wonder if you could cheat under that and kind of meet him at the dotted line, right? Because that's where he wants to go. He doesn't want to get all the way to the rim. And so at least initially, until you see like his touch, and it's also, there's a mental aspect to it, right? He says he's good and he's going to go, but I'll be honest with you, man. And I know this may sound kind of weak, but like sometimes if I got the wrong t-shirt on, I'm like, yo, my shot don't feel good. Now I have a super high release, so I like swing my shoulders up. But like as a shooter, like a very nuanced thing can alter your shot. And yes, a lot of it is psychologically. And so to dare him to shoot the perimeter shot initially might be a really good game plan. Let me shout out the super chats here. I don't want to lose this. Again, y'all got to be patient with me because I don't live stream that much. So that's my first point. Dare Fox to shoot from the perimeter initially. Let me get into this super chat from Mac. If we know our Achilles heel is turnovers, which determines our losses on the road, why doesn't Poole, Curry, and Dre take turnovers more seriously? I think it's just their nature. I think it's just who they are. It's who they are. And, you know, it starts with Steph, and he, as a shooter, there's an element of being free. You don't want to be in your head. You don't want to be too uptight about it, right? And the timeout thing in game 4 was a perfect example of it. I'm not here, and I know some of you will get mad just because what I'm saying, but like that's the one thing Steph doesn't have, where you look at like a Chris Paul or a LeBron, a Lowry to a lesser like talent level of those guys always know clock, situation, possession, right? They're like true, I'm going to control the game, like lead guys, where Steph, which again, it's just his nature to kind of just like free flow. Cause like I know me personally, like when I'm playing pickup, I know it's silly to compare myself to these guys, but it's my reference point. I don't really count score. Cause then you start thinking like, right. Then you're like, oh, we're playing to 11 and it's 9. Like if I take this 2, we win. If you just kind of play and don't really focus too much on the situation, it alleviates the pressure. It allows you to just play and flow. And so when you look at Steph and you look at Clay as the 2 greatest shooters of all time, in order to enter that flow state, I don't think they can be too attentive to situational basketball at certain times, as silly as that sounds. Dylan Brooks, fam. Let's talk about him right now, making sure. So Memphis, I expect them to win this game that's going on right now. They've been in control in that first half. I just didn't see. Listen, I know a lot, as annoying as Memphis is, I didn't see them getting knocked out in Memphis against this Lakers team 48 hours after LeBron like blew his whole wad, right? But Dylan Brooks, where does he go? Did you hear the report that like they've already tried to move on from him and he's going to be a free agent? Like who wants Dylan Brooks? And I was like, who Miami? Could he go? Miami? It feels like that would be a cultural fit where they would like they'd tear down his shot, rework his shot, and try to get him to buy in there. Or maybe Houston would be like, hey, we want some toughness. We want somebody to hold these young guys accountable, some sort of thought like that. But I just don't know where he's going to end up. Oh, I appreciate it, winning ways. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm going to try and do more here as these playoffs go on, hopefully as we advance. Yeah, Houston, I see it. DC, Beal will two-piece him, though. Beal is kind of like he kind of got a diva. I don't know if that will work. Remember, Washington has to ask Bradley Beal everything they do, right? That's kind of what it seems like. Okay. Let's move on to, let me get a sip of water here. Got to pace myself. The Knicks are tough, man. The Knicks are tough, bro. Are the Knicks coming out of the East? The Knicks could come out of the East. That would be wild too. You want to talk about ratings? Okay, Malik Monk. Now, I've mentioned this several times in the breakdowns. I've seen people in the YouTube comments talking about Malik Monk. Got to send him left. Got to send him left. Right. Easier said than done. But if you notice, what they do is they'll send a screen up for Monk to go left, and he just rejects it. Right. And he's got a ton of variance in how he's going to go right, but he's always going to go right. He's always going to go right. And I think Lamb, to his credit, is like the only dude that I've seen really sell out on that right hand. Now, that's not to say he can't score left, but if you send him left, he's either going to try to kick it or he's going to step back. He's not going to try to get all the way to the cup. And then as far as the 3 ball goes, if you notice, he wants to hop into that shot. And so that, like, again, I'd send him left and then understand he's not going to turn the corner on you and just stay down and stay vertical, right? That's kind of the scouting report. At this point in the series, I feel like they've got to figure that out better, right? Because if you cut off that flow of Monk's offense, where else are they going to get it, right? Super chats. I appreciate y'all. We got one here. Forgive me. I'm going to just call you AP because I don't want to butcher your name. Fox said his injury becomes worse with contact. So would you go over on screens to start the game and start going under later when the finger is sore? That's an interesting thing here. You know, I said my take is I think you test him mentally initially, because it's like mentally, I would test him mentally initially. And you see Mike Brown and them posturing and saying, hey, they're worried about his hand getting hit. Fam, his hand's getting hit. His hand's getting hit. You know, like that's and the beauty in it is that you can't accuse that you're not going to be able to accuse us of targeting the hand. The hand is getting hit, his shooting hand. Now, GP2 has some of the strongest hands I've ever seen, next to maybe Ron Artest. And that's the thing with GP2, man, is he may not be as vertical as he once was. He has so many other attributes that make him effective. His timing, his strength, right? And his fundamentals. And I could see GP2 willing to take a foul and just cracking down on that thing. And what are you going to say? Hey, he made a play on the ball. If we want to go by the letter of the law, he's making a play on the ball. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Forgive me for not shouting out your name properly, but I saw the comment on Patreon the other day, the Karate Kid reference, sweep the leg, baby. And it's not like you don't have, that's the beauty in it. You don't have to go after it. It'll happen in the game. It'll just happen in the flow of the game. And so, yeah, we'll see. But that's a valid point that once it's been hit, maybe he'll be more reluctant to shoot, but I think I might try it out right away. Catching up on these. Nicole, appreciate you. Oh, she's just shouting out the patron. I appreciate you. That's what allows me to do this full time and give these takes that I can stand so strong in, because it's my job. I'm waking up every morning and watching this tape. Okay, so we've talked about Monk and just staying disciplined to that right side, because he'll look left, he'll raise up, he'll dance, he'll in and out, and he's just going to boom, and he's going to dart back right. You have to stay disciplined. Let's move to Sabonis. Saboner is what people, the nicknames, that's a rough one. Has anyone tried him? Has anyone tried him at the rim? That's like my big takeaway right now. Now, Jordan Poole has got to the rim a lot in this series, and I give him credit for that, but no one has tried to elevate and punch on him. Now, Kuminga hasn't really had enough minutes to even try it, but why I say that is because I think they've given him too much respect as a presence in the paint, because if you notice what he does, he just plays the verticality game. He's just going to be 7 foot and he's going to raise his arms up. And so what that does is it allows you to get into the body, right? It allows you to get in the body. And I don't think we've challenged him enough around the basket. He was second in the league in fouls. Has he even been in foul trouble in the series? You know what I mean? And so you talk about Draymond missing layup. How many layups did we smoke in that game 4, right? It was ridiculous. But I think what was happening was they were looking for contact, Draymond in particular, but Steph smoked one. A couple guys smoked layups. Dante, they were looking for contact at the rim that never arrived. We've all felt that in you playing at any level, right? Where you're kind of in transition, or you get a step to the hoop and you think there's going to be a foul. You're bracing for contact and it never comes, and then you smoke the layup. But that just goes to show you it ain't coming. You can finish at the rim. Challenge, bro. Right? And particularly this dude right here. You see this here? Joku. Shout out my guy, Luke Zhang, man. Sent me this. Check out his Instagram. He's a dope graphic designer. And he sent me this shirt here. He's got a little boutique of Warriors gear, some real Bay specific stuff. Blow the whistle. So I appreciate the shirt, Luke. And, Joku this is the one I just can't believe he's not a part of this series. And I guess, I talked about it in last video about him not being prepared, right? He came out there, he wasn't up to the energy and attention to detail that was needed in his limited time, and they got him out of there. There's no time to waste on this stage. I understand that, but I do think that, listen, all right, maybe he's not the matchup for, dang, I got to catch up on these. He's not the matchup for Fox. That's like maybe the thing, right? You're like, all right, he could have guarded some Fox minutes. He did rough on Fox. And I think maybe the staff and was like, all right, if he can't guard Fox, we can't have that lack of spacing out there. But do you remember how I talked about the inverted pick and roll? Late in that game 4, Steph was setting the screen. Draymond was turning the corner. He got the lob to Wiggins that Sabonis broke up. He got a wing 3. And then sometimes he just turn around and hand it back off to Steph. And Davion Mitchell was just, it was a pain in the ass, right? If you run the inverted screen for Kuminga on the ball, yes, I know you'd have to trust him with the ball in his hands. But if it's Steph or Clay coming up and setting that screen, preferably Steph, because Steph actually sets screens, and Kuminga can get just one step downhill, he's going to detonate. Right? We're going to have like a Wiggins on Luka type dunk, and just a statement, and uncork him and just let him feed off that energy. All right, let me catch up on these. Hey, I appreciate the support. The patrons showing a lot of support. How do I click on this? Here we go. New Wave Tekken. Much appreciated, brother. Keep up the work. What does it feel to me is the Dubs should try to get to the cup a lot. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about, right? Because they were smoking the layups because no contact was coming. We've all felt that. You're like, and then you smoke it. And so it just goes to show you they're not really even trying to block shots. Len has blocked a couple. He's been kind of impressive, but I wouldn't be surprised if his time tapers off as this series extends. Corbin, would you rather have Trey Young's volume or Trey? Okay, so this is a hair question, right? Trey Young's volume or LeBron's hairline? Nah, man, Ice Trey, bro, he gonna have to let it go. The key is the beard, right? The key is the beard, but his thing is like the dude from Ghostbusters 2, right? With Vigo the Carpathian, the cat. But Braun's texture on top, it don't match. Braun has like the taint texture on top, and then the sides are normal. I just don't understand. He's 6'9", 250 pounds. He got a beard. Anyway, you knew what you were doing with that. You knew what you were doing with that. Get me going on the hairlines. Okay. Splashius. That's a dope name. Appreciate you. Okay. Caught up here. So we talked about Sabonis. If Kuminga were to get minutes, again, that inverted pick and roll, who could make you pay? Even with Wiggins, right? If it's Wiggins, if it's Kuminga, because Draymond, he's got the quickness advantage on Sabonis, right? But Wiggins or Kuminga coming off a Steph screen, what you finna do with that? Like that needs, they got to abandon some of this traditional stuff sometimes, right? Lord Maximus says, how do I feel about the Clippers future? Are you in here? Are you a Clippers fan, dog? No. You know, to be honest with you, Kawhi is kind of a fraud to me. And I wish I could show you guys my notes. I make notes for like potential videos when something comes to my mind. And this was like before he like cooked at the end of the year, and then he got cooking. So then I like let it be. But it was like a couple months ago, I was going to do a video on like Kawhi kind of being a fraud, right? Like he rode the big 3. Toronto was this perfect situation where Nurse and Lowry and these leadership guys, right? And then nothing. But then he started dominating. I was like, damn, all hell load management, right? All hell that. And then what do you know? Same thing happens. What I'll say about I think Ballmer is by any means necessary in his pocketbook and their depth. They're going to remain relevant and competitive. But as far as Kawhi goes, I'm not sure if he knows the difference between being hurt and being injured. And I think that he may have some sort of mental block where any type of, I'm not saying he didn't strain his knee, but I think that there are guys with worse injuries playing through that in the playoffs right now. And I think he just kind of has a mental block that it's like he has to be 100% in order to play. And that's going to ultimately screw them, right? Yes, Rich. Himmy Butler is him. It's so, Himmy plays like the old cat at your courts that no one wants to guard, right? He just bumps, pump fakes, and just scores. It's so ugly, yet it's so, his competitive spirit is so beautiful. Okay, the CBT or CTB channel, my fault. Appreciate you. I feel like your boy Kegel Murphy might be the problem tonight. He got going, right? He got loose. I'll say this about Kegel is if he's going to be out there for 30 plus minutes, you got to attack him on the other end. And it may spring Clay free. And I wonder if you can hide a smaller guard on him. Now, he's going to shoot over the top of anybody, but like a Steph, a Dante, a Poole, I don't think you can hide Poole on anybody. But one of the guys that you maybe don't want guarding, you could possibly hide on him because he's kind of only going to do what he does. I saw he took a little midi there, but I'm more worried that Huerter is due. Kevin Huerter is due, but I think that Dante is due as well, right? I've been kind of underwhelmed with Dante's performance. Now, he hasn't played that many minutes, but talking again about attacking the rim, Dante has the verticality and bounce to do that, and he just passes out of it. He passes out of it, and we've theorized. How do you say that? We've had a theory working on the Patreon this year that, you know, Dante is on a make good contract right now, right? It's a bargain deal, and he's had injuries in the past all the way through Villanova and Milwaukee and all that, right? Really, he should probably be on like a 4 for $80 type of deal with Milwaukee, honestly, if he didn't break his foot. And so I think he's kind of making business decisions at the basket because he's a better finisher than he's shown. And I understand him doing that. But at the same time, if you fizzle out in the playoffs, that's not a good look for your pockets either. So I'd love for Dante to get busy downhill when he has the opportunities. Yeah, see, I see you writing it out how to say it. I still can't say it. Theory. It's not my strength. It's not my strength. Poole leads the league in tripping over his own feet. Yeah, it's the way he strikes. If you look at, like, you know, I used to be heavy into the training of hoops and being like, prided myself on being kind of like a skills trainer. And you look at the biomechanics of how you're supposed to strike the floor, and that shin angle is what all the biomechanical trainers talk about. The guys that talk about like sell jump programs and stuff like that. And they talk about that shin angle and your ankle mobility. And I think that Poole, he just takes some broken angles when he steps, and that shin angle gets hella crazy. And so I don't think it's even the shoes. I don't even necessarily think it's him being too quick. It's literally the angle where gravity, he stands no chance. But, you know, he's been all right offensively. He's done what he's needed to do offensively in this series. What's the time here? Oh, we got some time. Road to dawn. Let me see here. Oh, see, my bad, y'all. I didn't even know how to click these on the screen. You see how, my fault, y'all. So here's the question. Yeah, no, I think that series is up in the air. We can talk a little bit about that. Now, how do I click that off? I'll leave it up. Sorry, y'all. You have to work with me. I'm going to try to do more of these. Part of my growth. I expected them to win tonight. Did you see TK, Tim Kawakami, tweeted out? You know, he always has like the weird kind of news sometimes, or the stuff you don't think about. But if Memphis wins tonight, Game 6 at Chase Center Friday night starts at 5 p.m. You know what that means, right? We're going to have a half-empty arena for the first half of Game 6. The game, you know, so that kind of sucks. But yeah, I think Memphis has a chance because, listen, as annoying as they are, right, that irrational confidence and swagger, I think, allows them to stay in series and stay in games even when they probably shouldn't. And then the fact that, as you know, I know everybody's marveling over LeBron, and rightfully so to an extent, but he is old. he looks old. Like you can see him like saving the bursts, and like I just don't know if he can save them, right? Like AD is going to have monster games the rest of this series. I think like what you're seeing is LeBron, it's going to be like every other game. And then the back end of these series, as you know, are every other night. There's no longer that big window of between games. And you heard Steve Kerr talk about that just now, just today, about the minutes. He wants Steph 2 5-minute rests, one in the first half, one in the second half, understanding that game 6 is being played, you know, Friday. They only have one day off. So I get it. It's a tough decision, man. Especially when you're dealing with the older guys, but at a certain point, do you seize victory on the road? You know what I'm saying? Like if it's, I don't know, you definitely get the 5 in the first half, right? Obviously, but it's like that third quarter rest, perhaps, or you just play the whole fourth. I don't know. I'm not someone who picks on the rotations, as you guys know, as much as some others do. I think it's low hanging fruit to blame Kerr for a lot of the stuff. Listen, like he has his faults, right? Oh, damn. This is crazy. A super sticker. I appreciate you, Yvette. Thank you. That's very generous. I appreciate you. Got to give you the shout out on here. But no, man, like don't get me wrong. Kerr like everybody has their strengths and weaknesses, but I see this one cat that's always in my Twitter feed that I don't even follow, but he's in my suggested because I guess he's a big Warrior Twitter follow, and his whole spiel is Kerr every game, and it's like, fam, he's won 4 rings. Like I get it, he does make mistakes, but ultimately my point is this is a players' league. And it's a talent-driven league, and it always will be. We can't put it all on Kerr because you don't want to pick on a particular player. Because the truth is, the players play the game. What do we got here? I just want to make sure I miss all these. Okay. SFN. What do we got here? Oh, okay. He's talking about SFN. You talking about Brooks? Yeah, I mean, bro is crazy. And again, we talked about it. Where is he going to go? They've tried to get rid of him. I'll say this though. I kind of think that he is a bigger part of their aura than they may realize, right? Like because he is the villain of that team. Now what he's the scapegoat, right? And so when he is gone next year, I don't know. I could see them missing him. As crazy as that sounds, as ugly as that jumper is, and you know, I think that he might have a little more to do with their swagger and toughness than maybe they realize. But in hindsight, you know, we'll see. Knicks, okay. Knicks are who do they? Oh, they're gonna have the heat of the Bucks. Yeah, the Knicks are gonna probably, bruh. What are the odds on the Knicks to go to the finals? Is that a bet, or you have to say championship? Championship odds on the Knicks, I'm checking into those. You got to check into those because you look, they've owned Boston in the regular season, right? In the East, Embiid's dragging around. I wanted to get to Embiid here. Let me get to that in a second, man. HR, appreciate you. Sacto, we son you. We gave you your owner, coach, play style. Then you want to bite the hand in the process. Then you want to bite the hand in the process, and you can't skip steps. Your steps end in this round this year. Okay, HR, get your shit off. Get your shit off. They are little bro, right? They are the media. I can't even front. Like I don't engage in the Twitter wars with the media and all that stuff because I don't. Twitter is just. I like it to use for certain things, but you can't use tone. I can't express myself how I want to sometimes. And Sacramento has been acting real greasy in this. And what's funny is their trash talk. You can tell it like fits Sacramento, right? It's like haven't been here before trash talk. And you're like, that wasn't even like, that was kind of whack, bro. But yeah, they've also, you notice they've played the game. The players have been real coached up to kind of like give us our props. The players aren't giving the Warriors any bulletin board material, right? But the fan base in the city certainly is. Okay, Rich, tell me why I apologize. I can't bring it up on the screen. Tell me why the coaches don't get on JP about playing defense. Yeah, dude, I don't know. That's what, like, as a coachy guy and watching the replays and the breakdowns, as the patrons know, like, I've had this, I just have kind of flipped out on Jordan Poole this year on several occasions, because I wake up in the morning, I'm looking at the tape, and I see a guy that there's not even a fake effort defensively sometimes. So I don't know if I don't have an explanation, dude. I really don't. And yeah, I'll leave it at this, man. And I know some people it's become kind of a line in the sand, team Poole and team against or whatever. There's a very real possibility they move off him this summer, because he's just not, he doesn't fit this, like, what the type of player they like. And I think that in the mold of what they did with D'Lo, when they extended him, I think the question is, part of it was to kind of throw it in Draymond's face, perhaps. I don't know, maybe. But I think part of it was just to retain the asset. And as crazy as the contract sounds, it's not untradeable, right? And there is always a need for, and especially stylistically, you know, he's more popular than, and people think he's better than he is because he's so flashy. So I think they could move off him. I really do. Brendan, I appreciate you. Longtime patron as well. If we manage to get past Sac, who would you rather face? There's pros and cons for both. Home court advantage against the Lakers being maybe the biggest. You know what? I didn't even think about home court. I didn't even think about home court against the Lakers. That shifts it a little bit. So my thought process, honestly, has been, I want Memphis. I think it's a better matchup for us, right? But then I was, and here comes the negative, pessimistic Alk. But I was like, you know what, though? You know how bad it would be to lose to Memphis? Like, as silly as this sounds, and I know, again, yeah, I'm being negative, but I'd much rather lose to LeBron and the Lakers if we were to lose in the second round. I just don't know how much gas and chemistry we have, right? I definitely think we can get out of this round. Second round's going to be tough either way, is my point. And so, but I didn't even think about home court. And then the other element would be, is like, does AD even make it through the series? You know? And so there's an argument to be made for both ways. Did this go out of here? Yeah. So there's an argument to be made both ways, because Memphis they're resilient. They're young. They come out of the series, you know, and we got to go to Memphis. There's a familiarity factor. It's going to be super physical. But then the Lakers, like, how much will the Lakers have left in this series? I guess I'll leave it with this. I want the series to go 7, right? You want them to just take a pound of flesh out of each other. And so we have a better shot, you know? I mean, it's obvious, right? What else we got here? What's the score of this Lakers game? Is this getting close down the stretch? This Lakers, or Memphis is blowing them out? Why are people acting like Fox equals Curry? Lucky trees. What do you mean? Yeah, I mean, I mean, they've been going blow for blow. You know, I mean, it's in a vacuum, right? In this series, they're the two lead star players that are putting in 30 a night, you know? So I think it's just more in a vacuum that Fox has got so far to go to even sniff Steph in what he's done. So yeah, I think that's just more either Sacramento just, you know, putting their chest out, but like fourth, you know, game to game right now as we speak, you know, that's the star battle. And Fox has been every bit the part. He's a gamer, man. He has that juice. He has what Tatum doesn't, you know. Keith, my guy. What up, though? Appreciate it, man. Oh, do a live game for the patrons. So what it is, and we can talk about this as we advance here, but it takes so much energy out of me. I don't have much for the breakdown. So it might, if we do a live game breakdown, or live game for the Warriors, then that would probably be the breakdown, or the breakdown would be compromised. But as far as like a live watch game for like another big game 7 of the playoffs or something, we could definitely work something out with that and try that out. How tall is Sabonis really? I know, I saw that. D. I saw that. I spit out my coffee one morning when I think I was doing the preview. I thought he was 6'10". I didn't even think he was an official 7-footer. I don't know what that listing is, but you remember like 2 years ago, they remeasured everybody. So apparently he's an official 7-footer. I talked about it in, I think, the last breakdown. He has bad hips. Like he can't sink his hips and he can't flip them. And so that's why you see he just really has that bully ball charge. I wasn't aware of it until this series. I hadn't watched him enough to kind of see that. And I thought that he would be a much more of a handful, on the block. I thought he would have like drop steps and spin moves, and he really doesn't. And I think it's the hips, and that's just, you can't. I mean, you can do some yoga and you can work at it, but if you're cursed with stiff hips, it's going to limit your athletic ability. But yeah, he doesn't look 7'1" to me. He looks about 6'10" or 11. Did they measure him in shoes specifically? That seems like cap. I agree. The Kanathi Kid. Love your content, Alk. I'm praying for a win tonight. If we can play Warriors basketball, we'll be fine. If not, we're in trouble. Much love. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, I expect it to be competitive. I think the question is the whistle, and we've seen Monk and Huerter sell out over the top of those screens. Are they going to call the over the backs and the pushing in the paint? I'm fine. If you want to let it get physical, let it get physical, but don't call a touch foul on us on a loose ball when Trey Lyles is in there, just like it's like what's the Caribbean thing that's going on in there? He's like dirty winding on people in the paint, fam. I can't see it no more. It disturbs me. Neil X, what up though? Okay, I think we've covered all these. I don't want to boom, 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 super sticker. Dang, y'all's names. And I'm so bad with pronunciations. P-Dub, right? I appreciate you. What else do we have here? It's just a game that the Warriors are sticking with their game 4 starters. Draymond off the bench for a second straight game. Jordan Poole. Okay, you're giving us the update. So Poole's starting again, Green off the bench. I heard, I don't want to take credit for this, but someone brought up the synchronicity of, this is how it started for Draymond. Is this how it's going to end, right? An injury or something happened. Remember the David Lee situation, right? And so, yeah, I don't know. I guess, dude, I understand the pressure. And I think that this is more about the psychology for Jordan Poole. We've seen the stat over and over again all season long about his stats when he starts and that type of psychology. I don't know what the confidence is. I know for me as a player, the hard thing about coming off I like to touch the ball and break a sweat before I shoot. And so that's an unappreciated art, is like the Damian Lees of the world, who can sit for a half, come in and hit a corner 3 in like 90 seconds of play. That takes a certain type. And so, yeah, I think the lineup is more about helping Poole get going rather than like this Draymond thing. We know he's going to be in there to finish. What's your take on Draymond's recent statements about Barnes? Okay. Nicole, I appreciate you. We got the info here. He's coming off again. Can't you see? Listen, man. Can't you see Draymond, like when they were young Bucks, kind of like pulling Barnes's card and kind of like just saying like he ain't, I don't want to say his black card per se, but kind of say, I'm kind of saying that, like kind of just being like just wave like this, just giving him like this fool, like what, right? And kind of just giving him this attitude. So I could definitely see them clashing because Harrison is so buttoned up and Draymond is so over the top and in your face, and I could see them clashing. And then I'm assuming you're referring to the wedding invite or lack thereof. I mean, that is a very direct thing to do. And so, yeah, it is what it is. And I guess I didn't talk about Barnes. Do we give him the Russ treatment tonight? At least just to start, because we've seen this movie before. All this stuff, they know him better than I, but it seems as if they know that he gets in his own head. And so initially, do you kind of like, he gets swung to the corner, do you kind of just like turn your back and look for the rebound? Just like on the, in the first quarter, and just kind of see if you can get in his head even further. So that'll be interesting to see how he responds and bounces back from that. Dang, y'all hitting me with the questions. I appreciate all the support, man. I'm gonna have to do more of these lives if y'all gonna support me like this. All the way from Japan. Thank you. I want to get there one day, man. I love the food and the culture, brother. I do. Will Draymond continue to come off the bench with the Grizz winning tonight? Do you want them to go 7 games? Absolutely. We want them to go 7. My mind was made up. I just kind of went over this, that I wanted Memphis. I hadn't realized we have home court against the Lakers. That does mean something, but a healthy AD, I'll say this. I'll leave that Memphis Lakers discussion with a healthy AD. The Lakers are a worse matchup, in my opinion. And it's not just AD and LeBron, but there are others. Austin Reeves is a foul baiting guy that seems like he would give us trouble. Vanderbilt kills us on the glass. They have a lot of role players that tend to give us issues. So my gut tells me that we should want Memphis, even though a Lakers-Warriors playoff matchup would be glorious for ratings and everybody that makes money off the Warriors, I must admit. Anthony, appreciate you, man. Kind of wish they'd not made it into the playoffs this year, to be honest. I'm so proud of the boys and believe in them so much. This playoff seems like the most difficult journey, and the pain is going to be real if they lose any series. I hear you. Listen, I mean, like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys I think that we could win it all this year. It doesn't feel like that. But at the same time, I didn't feel that last year, right? And then you see things happen on a nightly basis. Ja could go down on the hand again, and we get a jawless Memphis team. And then Denver and Phoenix cannibalize each other. Like, I've seen too many of these playoffs to completely dismiss the possibility of at least getting out of the. I think there's a way somehow they could get out of the West, but yeah, to like say they face Boston again or this Knicks team that's just on a roll, it'd be tough to. It doesn't seem like they have the gas tank and depth to do it, but you got to let it play out, man, and you got to appreciate what it's already been. And that's why I was kind of hinting in that second round. Like, I don't think I could stand losing to Memphis, bro. We'd hear about it for too long. We'd hear about it for way too long. All right, I'm going to wrap this up here soon. Amar, my guy's a longtime patron. Yep. I think the physicality advantage plays to us if they let it go both ways. But the Lyles and Sabonis are their two most physical players. And if they're going to let them just dislodge everybody in there, I don't even know, man. I don't even know. What else did I have? I guess, dang, I can't leave y'all out with these super chats. The GOAT, baby. The GOAT is here. As much as it pains me to say, Kuminga doesn't deserve to be on the floor in this series. Yeah, we talked a little bit about it. I think you give him an opportunity, but I think that, they've tried to mold him, and to his credit, he's done a really good job of molding into the type of player that they want him to be, as far as like a utility Sean Marion type, right? You've heard Kerr use that reference. I'm telling you, get him a big dunk early in that 90 seconds or 2 minutes he gets. And I think he can feed off that. You like guys to let their defense set the tone, especially that's what they want to nudge him towards being. But I think if you get him a backdoor lob, the inverted pick and roll dunk down the middle, that may feed the rest of his game. Because, watching him at the G League night, watching his rookie year, he likes to score, fam. Like Dante, I'm talking begging him to shoot the ball. Like Dante, Andre, right? They don't care to score that much. Kuminga, I think he wants to score more than he's leading on, right? He's trying to do the right thing, and it may just be hurting his overall vibes. Mac, can we sign Austin Reeves? Would you rather have Reeves than Poole? I would. He's a baller, man. Is he the best white American player in the league right now? You got Hero, Caruso, Kevin Love's aged out. I don't know. He's nice, but I don't think we have it would take all sorts of magic tricks from Bob Myers, who we got to see if he's going to be here anyway. Yeah, it would take huge restructuring, which is very possible with Neto, my guy. Thank you. Is very possible if, dare I say, a first round exit, right? You've read the reports. This could be the busiest off season we've seen in the Steph Curry, Bob Myers, Joe Lake Cabrera. Let's go. I'll leave y'all with that. Let's go. Let's go, Dubs. What do we got? We got about, probably 20 minutes here till tip off. I will be back with the breakdown tomorrow on the Patreon. And then I'm trying to hit y'all with these YouTube videos and being consistent. And I know that not everybody can afford the Patreon. It is just $1 if you want to support me. $2 is what I ask. But I will be back on YouTube too in the next 24 hours, giving some thoughts on what happens tonight. But we got to do this. Oh, come on, Matto. I can't. That's too much, bro. I don't even know what that is equivalent to the dollar, but okay, you just shouting it out. Yeah, Clay's due, but there is going to be a game 6 in this series. We know there's going to be a game 6, and we know Clay's going to be playing in that. But let's go, Dubs. I appreciate y'all. I'm out.